We are back, and there's no proof that I'm wearing pants. You're welcome, Jordan. Yeah, it's been a couple of days. So hi.
Hey Bjorn, are you wearing pants?
Am I?
Jamie, can
Wouldn't
you
you like to
confirm?
know?
Stick around after the stream and find out, baby.
I can confirm that he is wearing pants.
Haha!
Cool.
It's like we will tolerate a lot of things on this stream. A DM without pants, we will not. It's a bridge too far.
I mean, I'm not saying you you have to be wearing pants. I'm just saying I wanted to know if you were or not.
Fair. No, that's
No
very
mention
fair.
about players wearing pants.
No,
so.
I'm not about ambiguous pants.
Listen, whatever makes you guys comfortable, let your freak flag fly. That's just how I feel. You're in your own homes. I can't dictate what you do there. That is not up to me. That said, yeah, we got continuing adventures to go to, which is going to be awesome, along with music from Sirenscape. They're great in that they let you use their music for your live stream like we do. Or if you just want to use it at home, they have free subscriptions. I personally think they're the best way to add stuff to your game because there's so many different options they have. And it's actually really easy to hook it up with Discord like we did. So yeah, have some good times. Sirenscape, we love them. What do we got, Jordan?
Yeah. So I've got my regular show announcement. Our friends at the No Latency podcast, the Cyberpunk Red podcast that I did a side quest with for Christmas. We watched Retro and I fight Arasaka Corporation and save our own personal Christmas. We didn't really help anyone else. It was purely selfish. And it's fun, and the whole side quest is out now, so you can listen to it all along with their entire main story. It's very fun to watch Retro and their TV head just go through existence. Yeah. Also, reminder to everyone that the show is pre-taped. So everything that's going on with the OGL and statements and all that, we're just here. If we said anything about it, it would probably be, outdated by the time that this came out and you saw it. So that's why we ain't saying nothing, except we support third-party creators. We're just going to keep doing what we do until things need to change. So, yeah. Last but not least, we have our Jamie announcement.
Speaking of supporting third-party creators, did you know that Bjorn has created this entire setting? It is, of course, based in D&D 5e, but he has created an all-new world and an all-new setting, and it's based on Norse mythology, you might have noticed. Wouldn't you like to show your support for third-party creators, by which I mean Bjorn? You certainly can. If you look over there on your screen, there is a link to our Ko-fi, which is, that's right, Ko-fi, rhyming with no fee. I've only had to be reminded of that fact under a dozen times. It is ko-fi.com/dicejailers. You are still, if you remember from the last 2 weeks episode, I guess, for you guys, you are still within the time to make a contribution which would allow you to pick Phoenix's next spell as the only actual wizard of our party of wizards. And,
Wait, what?
Siobhan doesn't know. Jamie is annoyed, but
I am a human wizard. That's right. I am the only truth-telling player in this party. The human wizard.
Yes. Please pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I was going well there, and now I've lost my good wrap-up. Anyway, if you'd like to support third-party creators, and I'm sure that you would, you can support us at that address. Thank you for your attention, and money, please.
We love it.
Well-oiled machine. That is wham. That just describes us to a T.
You know what? F off. I thought I did pretty well that time.
You did quite well that time. You did. I'm more referring to myself. Yeah. All that said, you lovely, lovely individuals, you all are in the City of Virtue within the Asharan Vale, recently having struck down the Dusk Elf Alaphorus, who had been a thorn in your side for quite some time. Before his demise, he revealed to Siobhan who it was that ordered the destruction of the settlement where the Kalashtar once lived. And it was known that it was the Hollow Keeper that ordered this. Siobhan's decided her purpose in life is simple: kill the Hollow Keeper, which brought Mannix a certain level of concern, as he's quite familiar with this term, and that's the equivalent of trying to kill the boogeyman. But we'll see how all that comes to be. Garnet learned of a small shred of heritage that's deep back in her lineage, where she happens to share a little of that Kalashtar lineage, and that is the source of her psychic abilities. And Siobhan had suggested that her and Garnet were distant cousins, and Garnet didn't think that sounded quite good enough and decided the rank of sisters was more proper. Kira was visited in a dream or vision by a hulking mechanical creature that referred to itself as the Marut, that also informed him that his mother said hello, which shook his world a bit.
It's fine. Why
Reba
not?
had a connection to her deity, her patron, Hela, and Reba asked to speak to Lottie, her ex-girlfriend, which Hela abided by, and Reba was very briefly able to exchange words with her. You were all getting prepared to head via teleportation circle through the magical means of Kira's mentor Sordal to head to Nova Aurora, the capital city of the Thanamirian Empire. But before heading there, you decided it would be worthwhile to stop and speak to the Council of Virtue, as they should be made aware of the Empire's decision to show up at this arcane reservoir found in the Vagabond assemblage to the north. Mannix, being the noble that he is, was able to get you audience same day. You met a mind flayer receptionist who told you all to have a virtuous day, and he's trying to make it happen. After a brief rest and some light refreshments, you were invited into the council chambers of the Council of Virtue. And so as you approach this massive sort of half-moon shaped table, you can see 9 individuals seated behind it. At the center, you see 2 elves, 2 dwarves, and a human male. And as it goes outward, a gnome female, a dragonborn male, half-orc female, and a tiefling male, all sitting there, dressed quite nicely, looking at you. And seated at the center, the head of the council, this elvish female, looks to you all and says, "Yes, we were told Lord Soul wished for you all to receive audience with us."
I'm calling time out because I don't remember us being on the verge of walking in, and I would like for us to have a little, if we can rewind and have a moment to discuss what our plan is going to be.
Absolutely. We can rewind slightly, discussing what your plan is before you go in. So,
Okay, doodle-doo.
knowing you are soon to be brought to the chambers, discuss.
All right, who should do the talking?
I figured I would.
Oh, Haku puts up. Oh.
Well, you're one of the
Is there
better.
protocol we're supposed to know about?
There really isn't specifically, as far as I know, for here. It's just they'd be more inclined to listen to myself because I hold a rank, or Mannix being noble. But if we add the additional power play of the noble isn't actually going to speak, he's going to have his bodyguard do it for him, that's a little extra bit of pageantry for this guy's really important and you should hear what this is.
You're assuming based on how it works in the Empire?
They do a good amount here to make sure that the balance between the Empire and everywhere else that isn't the Empire is maintained, and it's very, it's a very delicate balance, and so they're used to dealing with nobles from the Empire. So they'd be kind of expecting it from us.
Well, speaking as the one person here who's actually from the Vagabond assemblage. Fuck yeah, you should probably do the talking. I'm not qualified at all.
And the thing we want them to know about is the mine and the well of power there, and the fact that the Empire was like, what's the outcome we're trying to achieve here?
Yeah, and Pohaku kind of is like nodding behind Garnet in his fancy new clothing, and is just, yeah. So I have a book, and I know that I will tell them about that. But what is it exactly that we are trying to get them to do, other than listen to Kira? But what is Kira trying to make them listen about?
I thought it was just specifically to let them know that that mine is indeed an arcane reservoir. And I thought that was basically it. Perhaps also say that the Empire does know that it is there, and they also know that since it is in the assemblage, it is not to be touched.
Is there any possibility of blowback for providing this information for them? Is there anything that they could do to turn it against us? Is there anything they could say, you've been sitting on this information for so long, why did you not bring it to our attention sooner? That type of thing, because
I can simply say
that type of behavior seems to be par for the course for people of that ilk.
You know, I didn't think of that.
They have no authority over any of us.
No.
When has that stopped people like that?
Well, allegedly, they're neutral. So it'd be in there, and they're enforcing the neutrality, and they're enforcing the Vagabond assemblage as a sort of trying not to say demilitarized zone, because that's what they fucking treat us like. But yeah, I really shouldn't do the talking. I've got a lot of opinions about these feckin' elves. Alright, so officially, they're the ones in this city itself who enforce the Treaty of Virtue, and so it would be of their interest to know that some rogue elements of the Empire seem to be trying to know about this stake before this reservoir before anyone in the assemblage did, and that's of concern. My personal concern, which I don't think would probably be appropriate to bring to them because I've got no feckin' proof of it, is that the last time the Empire came across a arcane reservoir, they bloody stole it from the people that it belonged to. Or the people who lived there, at least. I don't know anything about land rights.
Yeah. As much as it would be right to bring that up, I don't know how useful it will be to bring that up, seeing as not only do we have no full proof of that, but also that was under a completely different regime.
Should have brought Laphrus's feckin' head, they could have questioned it.
It seems to me this is the type of thing that we like to bring about delicately and provide as much information as is necessary and no more.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was going to
do that.
Yeah.
What does that do?
It lets them know that there's another power at play, that there's another resource that does exist that could cause tension. Am I right, Siobhan?
For myself, I don't understand the politics. I don't pretend to. For myself, they got away with slaughtering my people on the reservoir, because no one knew that they were there. The more people who know about this new reservoir, they can't just come in and take over with no opposition.
Not the people we're telling now did that to your people, right?
No.
That was the Empire.
Right. So, okay. So we tell these people with the hopes that they will prevent that from happening is the hope?
Just that the information is known, just that it's out there. I've only been trying to... It was suggested to me that perhaps we bring it to the Council of Virtue.
It could also, within the, existing tension and the Treaty of Virtue, which some people in the Empire don't exactly care to abide by, which I believe to be completely blasphemous, letting the assemblage and the powers that be know that they have such a font of arcane magic could be a great point of defense to hold up that treaty, because you can't use something that you don't know is there. And an arcane reservoir could be used for amazing amounts of study, new bold magical discoveries, things that really wouldn't be allowed to happen in the Empire, but outside of the Empire, much more magical experimentation is allowed.
It's possible they've already been told of it, to be fair. I did, Matt said that the story had, a newspaper article had made it back as far as Ruby's Crossing from, but,
and if that's the case, it really only helps me to say it as a member of the military in the Empire that is making sure this information is known as a bit of an act of goodwill. Yeah, if they already know it, it really only helps me to tell. Didn't realize that before.
So I think I'm hearing Kira's going to do the talking. The point is to inform, and no specific ask at this time, assuming that the information and the purpose of the council will do its job.
Yep, just came to make them aware.
Great.
And if nothing else, it's always helpful to have people in positions such as this to think fondly of you and perhaps owe you a deed of good favor.
Would it be worthwhile to have Garnet say anything, since her family does in fact have an interest in said mine?
I'm happy to act as a witness if it
Ooh,
is appropriate.
that's really smart. That is really smart.
We represent several different interests here.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's very smart. That's very smart. Yeah.
Before we go in, I do want to make sure Pohaku is going to kind of excuse himself for a moment. I don't have to do that right now, but before we do go in, he's going to excuse himself for a moment. I want to make sure I get that in.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything you guys need to do for prep before going in, we'll take care of that as all of this before we jump to the actual meeting.
Just because you often analyze situations more differently than I do. Reba, is anything coming up to your brain that seems like it's missing or it's off?
I think you guys pretty much covered it. No, not for me. I feel a little out of my depth here, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're doing this.
And what did Pohaku need to take care of?
So Pohaku is, just before we head out, is going to excuse himself for a little bit. He is going to go try to find a secluded area outside, and is going to kind of kneel down to the earth and again send out some pulses through the earth. He is casting Sending, because what would a day be if I didn't start it down by a 3rd level spell?
Exactly.
I mean, come on, this is what we do.
A day that didn't end in Y.
I would like to send a Sending to Shaman Busara back at the woods. and I'm just going to tell her, Auntie, we discovered an arcane reservoir in Shimmerstone Mine. We're telling the council at a place called Virtue. I just wanted you to know too. Bye.
A few moments will pass before you'll get a response. Oh, yes. Those to the north find such things so interesting. Virtue is a good place. Listen well and take care of yourself.
I will resist the impulse to cast another sending to say thank you, but I have to resist.
Growth.
Roll a wisdom saving throw. No, I'm kidding. Roll the save against burning all your spells.
It was a natural 12 to...
Don't tempt me.
Which is... It's a 14. It's a 14.
Oh, okay, all right. That's right. Yeah, you got a decent mod to it. No, I'm not going to make you roll to save against burning all your third level spells, as amusing as that would be to me. No.
I had to think about it, but yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk to the council. It's not like we're gonna need those spells.
Don't
Sure,
say
It'll
it
be
like
fine.
that.
It'll be fine.
We're not getting in a fight with the Council of Virtue.
Even if we win it?
We're not getting in a fight.
Nope.
Anything else for any of you before we jump to the meeting?
Actually, I guess I'll say, if there is time for it, I'll take a short rest to use Arcane Recovery and get it back.
You would not have enough time for a short rest. It's not going to be
Then okay.
a full hour. So that spell slot's gone for now. So jumping back to the council chambers, this large half moon shaped table, these various individuals around it. Actually, Mannix, you recognize one of them. There is a dragonborn male, blue scales, by the name of Daltuus Arprax of the House Arprax. You are familiar. You've met a handful of times in the past. He's not a terribly memorable sort. You knew he did work outside of the Empire. You didn't know what. And now you know what it is, as he sits on this council as a member of the Council of Virtue, as the council has members from various nations to help keep a very even interest within the council, so that no represented nation is completely overlooked. And so this elvish woman, very, very, very fancy, flowing silver and green robes, her hair, it's long blonde hair done up in multiple braids, looks to you all. Yes. What do you wish to speak to us of? How maybe we be of assistance?
Introducing Lord Mannix Soul, bringing information that he and myself, Private First Class Olarire, have found in recent weeks.
Please, do continue. And the Dragonborn, Daltuus, yes, welcome, Private First Class Olarire and Lord Soul. Pleasure to see you again. How may we be of service? As the head of foreign relations of the Council of Virtue, it is my distinct pleasure to listen to all you have to say.
We come simply with information for you. While we were up north at the Shimmerstone Mine, it was found that deep within the mine, the mine contains an arcane reservoir. and we believe it should be brought to the attention.
As you finish those words, a half-orc woman at one of the far ends of the table, she'll sit forward. Arcane Reservoir, you say?
Yes.
As in the one that sits in the mountain of Stone Spire and in the peaks of the Thanamirian Empire.
Yes, although I am not, none of us really are equipped to study it and know the strength of it to see if it's comparable. It is most definitely an arcane reservoir.
And how did you come to learn of this information?
Garnet?
My family owns a stake in the Shimmerstone mine, and I was visiting there and with my companions, and we came across it while investigating the mine.
Interesting. And who all has been made aware of this thus far?
So far,
Marshall Bicker.
Yeah, Marshall Bicker, as well as my superiors in the census are aware.
As you finish those words, the sole human at the table lean forward, looks at you. So the census is sticking their nose in this already, in areas where they have no fucking business, huh?
Yes, and
they were already there.
To that point, I took it upon myself to make sure that they stopped, as that violates our treaties.
Well, I'm glad to know, Private First Class, that you clearly are not only a student of law, but respect it as well.
He is a good man. I have a book.
You certainly do.
So any of you with a passive perception above, like, oh god, it's like a 12, would see the smile that creeps across Kira's face when Pohaku says that he's a good man.
The human will continue. Private First Class. While I don't completely have a whole lot of kindness for your position with your employer, that is, I respect your presence here today, and I want to thank you for that. But what I do want to ask is, how exactly did your superiors know about this if you all happened upon it?
To tell the truth, I do not know.
Make a persuasion check.
Yep.
Isn't that true?
Does he have advantage
What
because
the
he's
fuck?
a good man?
He's telling the truth, which is the only reason he doesn't have disadvantage, because this individual is from Aefiel.
Yep. So that is a... Wow, am I really not proficient in... Oh, I'm proficient in deception, that's what. It's still a 19.
19. He'll... Suppose that's understandable. No disrespect, but at your rank, I imagine there are plenty of things they don't exactly tell you. The main information probably stays near the top.
Many things are a need-to-know basis, and honestly, my current rank is because I put a stop to those that were meddling in the mines.
How exactly were they meddling? And the half-orc woman say, I'd like to know that as well. What sort of meddling was taking place?
They... To tell you the truth, they attacked us for merely appearing near them and seeing whatever they were up to, so they did not survive long enough for us to get information out of them.
He is also a bad man.
The sitting at the opposite far end of the table from the half orc, see this deep crimson-skinned tiefling male say, "If they were poking around where they're not supposed to be, not wanted, not needed, while I absolutely respect Councilman Arprax's position of being the head of foreign relations as the emissary of law within the council, I believe much of this falls under my jurisdiction, in my opinion. And frankly, this is to me a statement needs to be drafted to the Thanamirian Empire and the census there within, letting them know we on the council are fully aware of their actions, or their accused actions, I should say. And if these actions are true, and if these actions were to continue or reoccur, there would be swift and unquestioning consequences for such things, as I am sure the armies of Stonespire and the Asharan Vale as well would be quite willing to uphold the agreement we made when the Treaty of Virtue was signed, that while the Vagabond Assemblage is its own independent nation, we did agree that we would step in as protection on the day it was needed, should this treaty be violated. The Dragonborn lets out a long sigh. Yes, Councilman Harmony, your desire to deliver sanctions is well understood and has been well documented, and I cannot disagree.
And you would be right too, as technically the treaty was broken in part. However, I am currently putting in effort to an investigation because I believe there are people masquerading as not only people from the members of the census, but also perhaps from other countries around as well, to try and stir up conflict once more.
The elvish woman seated at the center. What makes you think there are such machinations intending to take place?
I can only think and extrapolate from what has happened to us at Shimmerstone Mine, but that's the only reason I can think of that would make sense, that people who I share a uniform with would attack me on sight.
Your conclusion seems sound and reasonable. Your colleague here spoke of you all knowing one Marshal Elijah Bicker. You all know the man well?
We met him on our way to the mine, and definitely as a owner of land in the mine and concern of what I saw from the Empire's presence there, did get Marshall's assurances that he would do everything in his power to protect our interests. And I believe Marshall One-Eye was going to stay on site as well.
He also has impeccable taste in soup.
Marshal Bicker has wonderful taste in many things. I have no doubt that is true. You said One-Eye. You were referring to Cecil Holloway.
Yes,
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry, one eye sticks in the brain a little bit better. Than
It really does. It really does. He's a firebrand, that one. He's well.
You know, I can see the concern in your eyes and your voice as you say that. I have to say, as someone whose side he's on, I'm glad he's there looking out for my interests.
Oh, without question. And I can definitely say, with the individuals you've mentioned, I'm very glad for you all that you know Marshall Bicker. One of the there are two dwarves on the council, one male, one female. The female dwarf, she'll speak up. Out of curiosity, who amongst you all happens to be citizens of the Vagabond Assemblage?
I step forward. I am.
So, and I don't want to ask this question in an accusatory manner. Why are you letting everyone else talk for you when it's your home where this issue is taking place? I mean, I understand her having a stake there in the mine, but this is your home and you don't seem to have a whole lot to say on the matter.
I have many things. Is this a woman? Or
Yeah, dwarvish woman.
Actually, you know what? Siobhan's not going to assume. Council member, I asked my compatriots to do the talking because I am not used to addressing a council. I didn't wish to cause offense by not knowing the proper way. I assure you, I have many, many things I would like to say, but not knowing what the proper venue would be, I deferred to the fancy boys here from the Empire as better knowing of the protocol.
Well, I have to say, if a citizen of the assemblage is putting faith in a private first class and a nobleman of the Empire, suppose we can take everything they're saying at face value. I hope I didn't make you feel like you're being interrogated or put on the spot. Just wanted to make sure we got a good grasp of how you were feeling there, since it is your home, after all.
I'm going to... I think I can do this. I assume we're all speaking in common?
Yes.
I'm going to say, in Dwarvish, no offense, you're not the first dwarf I've met.
And she's going to say back to you in Dwarvish, aye, you speak the language. You speak it well, too. All right now. Good and proper. Appreciate you and your comrades coming forth and speaking with us today.
One minor one minor correction. It was, we were sent to the mines. Well, we went to the mines in the first place because Garnet had a friend who'd gone missing, and it was actually Marshall Bicker himself. There were reports of hold on, I have me notes. There were reports of loud rubble moving around and screams from deeper in the mines than anyone had, in fact, a claim. We went in not knowing, looking for this friend, not expecting to find anything else, but reason to believe that some people had been going missing, and we have reason to believe they were going missing because, like us, they got too close to what the others didn't want to be seen. And then kind of realizes that she's probably talked too much and then blushes and steps back.
There is a gnomish female on the council who will then speak up. Out of curiosity, she's looking at you, Garnet. Just as we're getting to know you, you says you own this stake in this mine, but you're not from the assemblage. From where do you reside?
I am from a little place called Tinkerborough. It's outside of Glimmerstone.
Tinkerborough. My uncle lives in Tinkerborough. Oh goodness! I didn't realize you were from Glimmershore as well. Oh, well, so good to see. Have you been back recently? I've been so busy with work. I haven't been back in so long. Yeah.
It's been several weeks now because they had to take the train all the way up. But
Isn't it such a lovely ride?
For the Harvest Festival because that was fun.
Oh, you were at the Harvest Festival? I've heard it's so fun. I really wanted to go this year. Did you have a great time?
The best. Have you done the pig chasing?
I have never. Did you chase the pig?
I did. And she points over at Reba. Champion pig catcher over there.
Ooh,
and we have the real champion, and she points at Pohaku, over here in the melee anniversary fight thing. Yeah.
As soon as they started talking about the festival, Pohaku was like vibrating, trying to keep quiet. And just as soon as Garnet brings this up, he's like, "That was me. That was really, 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 really fun." Sorry, I have a book.
The head of the council, she'll speak up again. She gestures towards the gnome. Councilwoman Longgrace, I appreciate your enthusiasm and your desire to get to know those speaking with us. Now, we do have other meetings to hold throughout the day, so I would suggest we put a pin in the socialization for now, but thank you for bringing some always much needed levity to these proceedings, as there are many of us that often get overly caught up in business. Well,
sorry, just real quick, what was her name? That was Councilwoman
Longgrace.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know what more you would hope from us other than a deliverance of information to the Empire, that we have been made directly aware of some of these goings on, and that we intend to continue to monitor the situation. And she looks over at the half-orc. If you would, Councilwoman Thundercloak, please reach out to some of your top scholars. Have them check in with Marshal Bicker. We will give them a formal writ from the Council of Virtue to document the findings there. Make sure that we have some awareness of exactly what it is, so that the property of the assemblage is properly documented. And should any further issues arise, we will know what state it should be in. And the half-orc, without question, I only regret I can't go personally, but I have some fantastic minds that I could send to the marshals there, and with their supervision and permission, record some information. And the head of the council shall look back to you all. Well, if there isn't much else, I suppose we can conclude these proceedings.
Yes, that is honestly telling you was the sole purpose of this meeting.
Well, I shall have Councilman Arprax, Councilwoman Stonehammer, and Councilman Harmony work on drafting a writ to the Empire, and specifically to the census, and we'll let it be known that for some time now we will be turning some of our gaze to the north to make sure slip-ups from our neighbors to the east don't happen again anytime soon.
Thank you.
You are all, of course, welcome to refreshments on your way out before you depart, and we thank you for your time today.
Bjorn, did you see the... Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was asking if you saw the... I sent you a text message like 10 minutes ago.
Did not see it, no.
Or it's actually a messenger.
Oh, I just, I said. Okay. Go ahead and give me an insight check, Siobhan.
Oh, fuck me. I rolled for crap, so it's only an 8.
8. Yeah, the individual, they seem very focused on all the proceedings, looking to whoever's currently speaking, notating when they're listening, and yeah.
As we're exiting, Garnet will definitely give a little wave right outside the door. Have a virtuous day!
And as you do that, you can hear the half-orc woman, Councilman Thundercloak. He's still trying to make that catch on, isn't he?
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Working.
And as you are all departing the council chambers, back in the main foyer of the building, unless you intend to do something else here, I assume you're all exiting the main building itself. And as you do, the mind flayer that's working the reception desk, he's quite busy at the moment, but as he sees you all go by, you each kind of hear in your mind, not completely simultaneously, because he's pretty busy, but have a virtuous day.
Back at ya.
And also with you. Or and with you in spirit, they changed it, did they know?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention when I go in.
And as you all exit, Swordall will look to you all. Well, I think that all went quite well. You all said everything I would have, and well, frankly, you all were there, and I was not. So I hope you don't mind me not saying anything in the proceedings.
I mean, it's
Thanks
good
for
enough
trusting
just
us with that, Swordall.
Well, you all trust each other, it seems, and it's good enough for me. With that, unless you
Just
all
look
have...
over real quickly over to Kira. I kind of just, walk over and kind of brush off his lapels, just give him a kind of a light dusting over, and bad man.
I'm going to get that put on a cloak.
Swordall say, well,
Saw a wallet like that once.
unless you all have any other business here in Virtue, I suppose it is time to go pay Kira's aunt a visit.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yep.
I am dressed for the occasion, sir.
You certainly are. Please, follow me. We'll want to get somewhere a little out of sight. And it takes a few moments, but he kind of finds, kind of a little alcove, an alley out of the way, and says, this'll take a few moments. Talk amongst yourselves for the next, 10 minutes, and he'll start drawing out a bunch of arcane symbols on the ground in a circular pattern, getting to work on the teleportation circle spell.
Have you noticed that elves all... now, if you've ever met a teenage elf, which I have, they sound like a normal fucking person. But then as soon as they get older, they all start... okay, God. I'm trying to do a bad version of the elvish accent. They all start to talk like they come from a long, long time ago. immediately, right? You know, it's no, they don't they don't sound like that when they're younger. They just, for some reason, as soon as they get older, they all have to start pretending that they're 600.
As Sortle is doing the runes for the teleportation circle, Pohaku's just going to kind of watch, kind of fascinated, and he is going to use mold earth while he's doing this. And he's just going to do a much smaller, this is not going to actually do anything, but he is just going to kind of trace out the same runes kind of along with him, just in that 5-foot square on the ground, just kind of wonder how. Okay, and he's just going to try to kind of commit that information to memory.
Accidentally teleport someplace to the middle of the Empire.
If a cantrip could replicate the power of a 5th level spell on accident, that'd be fucking great.
Wow, yeah.
With enough creativity, anything's possible.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
We'll see how devious Bjorn is feeling. I think you just gave the DM the idea of, wait, did you say a warehouse?
No, it's a warehouse.
Yeah, no, it's the warehouse. It's a house that when the moon turns full, it gets these fangs and gets a bloodlust.
Terrible.
So, before we teleport, I did have a favor to ask of you all. It's so I don't often get the chance to actually go and visit home. It's more often sending spells when I've been, you know, away training or at the academy. So I was wondering if you'd let me kind of make an entrance when we get home.
Pohaku immediately takes off his when I say fancy hat, I don't mean the one that Garnet got us. I mean the fancy, you know, one that I got at Mannix's clothing shop.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately takes it off and puts it on your head. You look smashing.
I do. I actually, but I really just meant, and I hand the hat back. I think it'd be cool if we all wore our matching hats, because, you know, we're a group and we're close and all that. But I just wanted to, when we teleport in, if you could just pause for like a second so I can send Umbani out first, just to mess with her a little bit, and then walk in and say hi. Is that okay with everybody?
I'm not storming off into some strange woman. I beg your pardon. As a stranger, I'm not going to go storming off into some woman's house unannounced.
But she's curious.
I'm happy to storm into someone's house, and we totally know her.
Yes, it's all right. It's all right with your freaking
Okay.
pageantry.
I
appreciate the showmanship.
She hasn't seen me in a while, and I've learned a lot. So you know, and I've gotten taller since last time she actually saw me in person. So there's that. Yeah.
And as you're saying this, Kira, Sordal will say, as he's still doing all the chalk, just remember, we're going to be appearing in a very small hidden attic. So you will need me to let us out of there first before you try and make any sort of grand entrance. Otherwise, you'll be parading around a small space to, well, this audience you see before you.
Yep. That. Yeah. Yep. That. Mm-hmm. I would make that mistake. Yep.
Will Reba need to duck? How small of an attic is it?
He looks over at Reba. You might have to crouch a little bit.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
I believe you. So am I. And he gestures at his ears, which are much high up above his head. He's not a short man. And he gets near the end of doing the teleportation circle, and he looks to you all holding this piece of jewel-encrusted chalk in his hand. He goes, now, when I finish the spell, you will need to go through the portal immediately. It will only stay open for a few seconds. So please do not hesitate, because anybody who doesn't go through is getting left behind, and I can't come back for you until tomorrow, and then I can't come back again until the day after that. And frankly, that's a lot more time than I think any of us want to spend. So, are we all ready?
Siobhan's
Give me,
nervous.
like, just a couple of. Give me like one minute, if you don't mind, Sortal.
Of course.
And Pohaku is just going to step back and stretch.
What were you going to say there, Jimmy?
I'm Siobhan's nervous about having heard this now. Is nervous about accidentally missing the bus, as it were, and so it's kind of like
I have two hands. Who wants to hold them?
I hold a hand.
Pohaku stops stretching and grabs the other hand.
Here's
Okay.
just frantically prestidigitationing, just making sure he's clean and ready.
Reba offers him a hand.
I grab on.
And with that, Sordal will finish the last of the teleportation circle, and you watch as all the rooms...
Counterspell.
Well, I guess we try again tomorrow. Who wants a drink? Yeah, he will finish that. The runes will all begin to ignite and glow, and then suddenly the circular light goes upwards from the circle. And he's like, well, in we go.
Pohaku is sprinting. He may have accidentally dislocated Garnet's shoulder.
Oh no!
And as you all go through, Sordal coming in last behind you, light disappears, and you find yourself standing on what looks to be a teleportation circle markings, just etched directly into the floor of this room you're in. You can see the slant of the roof of this building just above your heads. Reba, you do unquestionably have to crouch down a bit so you don't bang your head into it. Sordal doing the same. And Sordal kind of creeps forward ahead of you all. It's like, all right, now where is that hidden panel? It is... He kind of taps on one floorboard. No, it's not there. Tap, tap. And then you hear one that sounds a little different than he taps on. Ah, there it is. And opens up this this latch, and looking at it, most of you aren't going to have too much trouble fitting through, but you see yourself look at it, and you also kind of look over at Siobhan and Reba and Pohaku and even Swordhole, and you're like, it'd be a tight squeeze for some of them. Not so tight that you're going to have to, like, Winnie the Pooh your way through it, but enough that, you got to, like Reba and Siobhan, you got, good broad shoulders. You're going to have to kind of just go at the angle of the square. And he goes, yes, well, after you all, this will have us on the upper floor of Halia's Tavern, and Kira can lead you from there. I'll bring up the rear as I need to close the latch.
But first, Umbani, go find Auntie.
And you send Umbani right down through the opening there. Afterwards, you all heading through one by one, Sordal lastly latching it shut behind you all, and you could hear this voice coming from the lower floor. How in the hells did you get in here?
I'm gonna make sure.
Well, if
I
you're
have my
here,
mage
then-
armor cast.
Okay. Young man, get in here this instant. If this bird's here, I know you're here as well. And if you're making your auntie wait until she sees you, you better not make her wait much longer.
I'll doing my best to put on a performance. And I'll just walk despite the run that he wants to do,
Sure.
and
Cute.
walk out to because we're coming from upstairs, right?
Yeah, you're on the upper levels. You have to come down
Yeah.
the main stairway to get to the main floor of the bar itself.
So I'll I'll just come out up to the top banister. Hi, Auntie.
She has a moment, who's kind of looking at you sternly. Somewhat unimpressed by this grand entrance. Before she just breaks into a smile, runs over, and just gives you the biggest hug.
Can I try an acrobatics to slide down the banister at the stairs to jump to her?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make an acrobatics check.
Oh, whew. I was half expecting my dice to do me dirty there, but that's a 19.
Oh yeah, you slide down effortlessly right into the hug. How are you? This is quite the look. It's good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Well, I had to come home and come see ya. Also, I hope it's okay. I brought some friends.
And she looks up the stairs to see where this motley gathering of individuals is starting to come down. And what you all see, since unlike Jordan, you don't know exactly what this individual looks like. You see a black woman in her, looks to appear maybe mid 40s ish. You only kind of guess this. You can see a little bit of graying in her hair. It's long, but it's tied back. She owns a bar to work. She's wearing a tank top. You can see shoulders are very strong. She basically looks like Vivica A. Fox in Kill Bill. Though you all didn't see this, but you sort of like the sternness to the smile it's straight up like in her fight with Beatrix, where she's just ready to go, and then the kid pops its head in, just all sweet and everything for a moment, and she looks to you all. Well, friends of Kira's are always welcome. Please come on in, grab yourself a seat. We don't open for some time yet, as since you have all traveled from east to west, it's a couple hours earlier now, and it wasn't that late in the day when you had your meeting, so she's still very much prepping to get set for the day. I have some food around I can get you set up with, or if anybody needs
Don't
drink.
worry about us. We've been eating all morning. Thank you so much for having us. It's very nice to meet you, ma'am. And we brought you a little gift because we're just coming unannounced. And Garnet will pull out the little gift basket of lavender. There was some oils, dried stuff, and tea that she had bought at the little craft fair thing, and give that to her.
Halia will take it from you and say, a couple one, you can leave that ma'am stuff outside. It's just Halia. Thank you. Your name?
My name's Garnet.
Thank you, Garnet. This is, you need to bring friends like these around more often. I like the friends who bring me tea and lotions and, oh my goodness. I am looking forward to closing time tonight. I am going to have such a good bath. This will be amazing. Thank you. She'll kind of go set that off to the side.
So to introduce everyone else, I'm sure you remember Lord Soul.
She will look to you. She just, manic. She has this very kind of stern, but like overly stern, like almost cartoonishly look on her face, before she breaks into a bit of a smile and laughs. Mannix, how are you today? Still drinking the coffee and coffee?
Is there any other way to take one's coffee?
Well, I would never argue with a connoisseur. Have you been properly caffeinated on the day? I still have part of a pot left if you care to finish it off.
I have yet to achieve complete caffeination.
Perfect. I'll pour it out for you. And she grabs the pot and 2 small coffee cups, pouring it out for you. It's the way you like it, my old friend. Well, not old. You know what I mean. As for the rest of you,
Yeah, so this is Siobhan. She has saved my life on a few occasions already. And Reba as well.
and at that, Halia will extend her hand to you, Siobhan. Say, thank you. This kid's life means more to me than you know.
Oh, he's overstating. He's a very strong lad. He can take care of himself.
Well, glad to hear he's learned a thing or two. And yes, the rest.
Yes, and Reba, who has also saved my life a time or two. We've kind of jumped from near-death experience to near-death experience for the last little bit. It's good to be home.
Are you so determined to be like your father that you need to just have, I don't know, all sorts of danger around you at all times?
Well, how else can I help people like he did?
You keep giving answers like that, it makes it hard for me to reprimand you.
I mean, that is the plan. And last but not least, Champion, Esquire, Proud Hair, where's my list of every title, Collector of Names. I don't have my old notebook, so I don't have all of them written down all together in a row.
Pohaku Kahu, Champion, Esquire, Proud Hair, Collector of Names. You got it all.
Beautiful.
At least I've got written down.
Quite the mouthful.
That's what she said.
Why would she say that?
Are
Sorry.
you
Sorry.
are you okay if I just call you Pohaku?
Kohaku, you can talk now. It's okay.
I see he's a talkative one.
He actually is. We just had a... So, things you should know. Because Pohaku, she can know, right? Like, it's fine to tell her all the things that normally we
Is it
wouldn't tell
okay?
people.
You tell me, is it okay?
Yeah, no, she is safe to know all the things that we should normally tell
I drop the
people
book
that
and
are-
I just wrap my arms around her and give her a huge hug.
Oh, honey, I think you just
It's so nice to meet you. Kira is so great, and he's been just wonderful. And you, I can't. Can I call you Auntie?
Yes, you may. I think you just cracked my back, by the way. That felt good. Thank you.
I seem to have a habit of doing that.
Apparently.
It's so nice to meet you. Kira has been an amazing companion on our journeys together. He is a brilliant mind and been a wonderful companion. And Mbani is pretty neat too. And Pueo, and I'll just have Pueo come up over and hop onto my shoulder. Pueo has found a friend in Mbani too, I think.
Now, Kira, last I checked, you were heading out to accompany Lord Soul here to the Harvest Festival because he wanted to see how they celebrate things in a
I
more
was the
quaint
champion
and
at the
simple
Harvest
way.
Festival.
Well done, honey. Proud of you.
Thank you, Auntie.
But
Fucking
now
cheating.
you come back with quite the collection of friends. Is there a lot I should know about? And before you can respond, Swordall will respond. More than you can understand. I'll tend to the door. And she looks to him. Oh, it's like that. He'll look back. I think today may be the day that the young man finally gets up to speed on a few things. And Swordall will go
There's
over to the
more?
door and begin magically locking it.
There's more. There's more. Great. Cool. There's more.
Well, and Holly will respond, well, honey, that depends on what all you do and don't know. But let's start with what all you know, what all you are planning to do, and figure out what I'm going to do to help.
Talia,
Yes.
I'd like you to know that Kira has been very loyal to making sure that you are the person to pour his first drink.
You really been doing that?
You did say you'd kill me, and I believe that.
Is
That doesn't
now an
mean-
appropriate time for that first drink?
Well, I mean, as Kira can tell you, I've always been very stringent about rules. And Kira, you're having a hard time not snickering
Mhm.
at that. The idea that Halia would be very firm about rules and all that. Because, I mean, I don't know if there were cause to celebrate or anything, that might be a reason to. And as she's saying all this, she goes walking behind the bar and she reaches up and she places her hand on the top shelf. She grabs a bottle and pushes it aside, reaches for one behind that, pushes that aside. She gets all the way up on her tiptoes, grabs one from the back, and she
Ooh.
has to actually blow some dust off of the labels. That's the one. And she'll go along, and as she's walking, she does a couple gestures with her hand, and as she's doing it, some shot glasses go onto the bar counter there by a simple mage hand spell. She pours it out there and looks to you all. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she pours out 8 pours, mage hands the bottle back up onto the shelf, and she gestures to the glasses. I think everybody should take one.
Yes, please.
Okay.
To my nephew, Kira, and everything he has and will accomplish. Here's to you, baby.
He's a
Hear, hear.
bad
I
man.
wait till right as she puts it to her lips,
Uh-huh.
and right before I take the shot, I go, "So my mom's still alive."
You notice she doesn't flinch. She looks to you. So how long
She
have you
took
known?
that well.
I thought that was gonna be a bit. Of course. Of course, because that's. Yep. Mm-hmm. A day? Not even a full day.
Well, welcome to the information. Oh, by the way, I may have just ruined you for whiskey for the rest of your life. Yeah, should have given you something a little worse for your first drink. That was a bottle of something special that your father got when he was in Stone Spire, and I've been saving it for your first drink. He and I and your mother took down the first part of that bottle.
I wish I had a point of reference to know how good it is. It was very tasty. I just don't know what, good is.
And she looks over at Mannix. Well, you keep traveling with him, you'll get a wonderful point of reference on different alcohols, though you still a connoisseur of all things alcohol, or have you started to get around to those nights where basically anything will do?
I've had my nights of anything will do. Those are far behind me.
So this being Kira's first experience with alcohol, and it is a fine whiskey. How does he do?
That's a good question.
Give me a con save.
Yep. That's a natural 20.
So
The man with the iron liver.
there's a little burn as it goes down, but the thing is, you've had like spicy teas before, or a spiced coffee, or even just spicy food in
Yeah.
general. So something with a little burn, no problem. And again, because this is a very smooth whiskey, and you've been hanging out with Mannix for a while, not just on this journey, like your families have known each other a long time. he has known you since you were a kid. Well, he was a kid then, because you're very close to the same age. He's a little older, but not a ton. You guys have known each other for a long time, and you've known him through his entire drinking life. And there have been times you have somewhat lived vicariously through his experience. You had wonders what these things tasted like, and Mannix, there's nothing he loves to talk about more than himself or an experience he's having. So he would always regale you with all these flavor profiles and experience of different whiskeys. You find in this moment, you're recalling so much of that information. As you drink it, you're going, okay, oh yeah, you know what? I am getting some of the smokiness in this. And oh, yeah, that's some vanilla on the finish.
And
and all of a sudden, everything he's ever said about all these alcohols, it's making sense to you.
I thought it would be unpleasant when he said boot leather, but I like it.
Reba, like, absolutely.
Everybody says that.
What's that, Casey?
Reba absolutely notices this and is just, like, so taken aback, on the verge of offended. And she just, like, glowers at him and just says, "No one looks that cool after their first drink. No one handles their first drink that well."
Except me, I guess.
And Halia.
Well, dear Reba, then all we can do is make sure that it wasn't a fluke and give him another.
Ah.
Halia doesn't smile. I like exactly how you see, Mannix. I knew there was a reason I liked it when you came around. Though, I think we'll save the rest of that bottle for another time.
Well, you wouldn't want to give him more of the same, because let's be all quite honest. When we all come of age and we have a first beverage, we don't stop at one, and we don't stop at one variety.
That's true. There are some traditions to uphold. I will tell you, Kira, the day that bottle was opened, the first time it was drank from, this is the beauty, by the way, when you get enchanted liquors, is they don't lose their flavor or potency over time, was the day I opened this bar.
Are you sure that wasn't too important to save for me? Like,
Tyree specifically told me that he wanted one of two things to happen. That either he wanted to have a drink of that with you when you had your first drink, or if anything ever happened to him, I was to save it for your first drink. And this is why I was so insistent on pouring you your first drink.
that makes sense.
But how does everyone feel about round 2 and Swordall's? I absolutely need another one right now. Round 2, everyone? Yes? Yes?
Yes, please.
Wonderful.
Please and thank you.
Brings down this bottle. It's a clear liquid, and she inverts the bottle and brings it back vertical again, and you watch as this opalescent color swirls from the center and comes outwards. She goes, "You have to activate it first." And she will pour out some of that. So like, this, well, let's just say, and she kind of puts it, and if any of you who watches where she puts it back, you notice that where she slides it into, all of a sudden the bottle kind of disappears, as there is a section of this shelf that is an illusion that looks like a solid wall. Well, I'm not actually supposed to have this, so it's probably best that we drink some of it so that, I'm rid of it quicker.
You know what? I have questions, but I feel like today I'm just going to be full of questions, so I'll just hold them till later.
Well, let's see how this one treats you. And she'll throw back her shot and see if you all do the same.
He's also a good man.
You're really trying to make that title happen, huh?
So I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw on this.
Let's see. Where's the jail?
Oh no!
Natural 1.
I was cool once.
Yes.
I mean, that's a 7, and if it's a poison effect, I'm immune. But
Nat 20.
Not 20.
Ooh.
Manix is fine. What'd you get, Kira?
16.
It wasn't a natural 1, but it still was a 7.
Okay. Reba and Siobhan.
17.
24.
Okay. So most of you, it sounds like, are fine. Pohaku, Kira, and Sordal, on the other hand, because Sordal also got a natural 1. All of a sudden,
I love the story of the dice. Tell.
the ground, to you all, it feels like it's kind of shifting and rocking, and you're just kind of trying to keep your balance. All of a sudden, you're kind of like Captain Jack Sparrowing it, as it makes you feel like you're on some rough seas. The taste of this one, it's got sort of a strong caraway flavor, also some caramely notes to it, and it has a slight touch of salinity on the finish, as this is imported, or should I say smuggled in from Eyjafjall, as this
Okay,
is
fucking
an
Akavit.
enchanted type of akavit. As
Yep. That
and it if you don't if you can't quite hold it right, it makes you feel like you're staggering on the ocean, and it only lasts for about a minute before you guys catch your bearings. Looks like you got a little learning to do about everything you drink, huh there, Kira?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
that's great. We can learn together, Kira.
we absolutely can, my brother, and I will put my hand over Pohaku's shoulder.
I just bonked my head against yours, probably a little bit too hard, as I lean over to you as well.
So, I think it's time to
This is
discuss.
good. Thank you, Auntie.
Oh, you are most welcome. Another round for anyone else? Everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Round 3, please and thank you.
I'm good to slow down for a little bit. I want to remember all of the information you're going to tell Kira, so I can remind him of it later.
She'll pour drinks both for Manix and Pohaku. Is Reba or Siobhan going round 3?
Reba wants. No, I beg your pardon. I'm not Reba. Siobhan wants tea. That's an. Is there a kettle on? I'll just pour myself some.
Oh, I'm happy to take care of that for you.
This is just so the opposite of campaign 1. What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused.
What sort of tea can I get you there, hon? Any preference?
I don't. I'm gonna name the one that that Kira had given me, so I know it's theoretically a local tea.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem. Happy to. It'll just take a few moments. And she puts on a kettle and gets some, loose leaf tea in a bag, sets that in a cup, ready, and she goes, "So, let's see what all you know, and Sordal and I can fill in the rest as need be." And you watch as Sordal takes a bottle of whiskey off the shelf and he pours some in her glass as well as his own. He goes, "You may want this for some of what you're about to hear."
So where to begin? So I'll just go in reverse time order, I guess. Yeah, Mom's not dead. For some reason, in my dream, a large construct that could talk that had a big spike on its head was the one that told me the mom says hi. Let's see. No, I'll leave that because that's a fun tidbit for the end. I've been promoted. Also,
He deserved it. He's really good at his job.
That's high praise. I'm
not embarrassing you, am I?
If I had the capacity to be embarrassed, yes.
He's really good at his job.
Let's see. So yeah. Also, things. New information about Dad's death, which is why I'm pretty sure that shot Swordol grabbed for you, because from what Swordol's figured out, maybe the official story isn't actually the official story. I also learned that he's...
And she will hold up a hand. Let's stop you right there. I want to know more about that. Swordol? How long have you known and you haven't told me? Yes. Well, I was withholding some information from you, Halia, not to be inconvenient, but as I wanted Kira to hear it as well. I've done some digging over these years, and while I don't have anything concrete yet, I did find something I found very interesting. The witch that they claim was the one that struck down Tyree. I found there were no further attempts to locate her, despite what was said. If there had been attempts, I would have been able to find records of it. There are none, which suggests to me that is not what happened to him. And it also suggests to me that if we can find her, there is a chance, though I don't consider it a great one, that she may be able to shed some light on what may or may not have happened. We know she was there. We know she was the quarry. Yet, suddenly, pursuit of her seems to have completely ended. Why? It doesn't make sense. My hope is to be able to continue my attempts to gather information, and perhaps with the assistance of Kira, Lord Soul, and whatever talents some of these other individuals have that may work in this endeavor, do some digging around in some of the census archives to see what information we can find from that outing. They're all stored here in the capital. But I want to get to the bottom of what happened. Because somebody knows. And to be honest, I don't trust the information of anybody within the census that was there.
Yeah.
Their information has already been proven to be false.
And speaking of who in the census, we especially can't trust any of their information. One, you know how I mentioned how we kind of jumped from near-death experience to near-death experience?
I know, yeah, I picked up on that very quickly. I liked how you just want to just brush over that, but I'm happy to come back to it now.
Yeah, so that's because of a dusk elf named Elaphorus, who now doesn't exist, thanks to, well, a whole lot of fighting and a whole lot of healing, and, well, we did great. But part of the reason that he continually attacked us is because when we got on his trail, he was working kind of alongside, but not quite alongside, maybe in opposition to, but definitely underneath Castian.
So that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
And it's less than comforting.
Uh-huh. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
I can see that. I just wonder if they've kept him in the dark as well. How much have you had to deal with him these past few weeks? Has he been antagonistic? Has he been secretive? Has he...
Not any different. He hasn't been acting any different than usual, but because of some very, very quick thinking and amazing work by Reba and Garnet and Siobhan, especially, we were able to procure some information from him that he definitely wanted to hide, and that's what let us know that he, was maybe in charge of this guy that tried to murder us like 3-4 times.
Siobhan's going to say in Kira's head, is that what you took from the entry?
A little bit.
Well, it's a lot to be aware of. It's certainly not the news I was hoping you were bringing home, but we work with what we have. Disappointing to know that painful memories are still lingering like this. Would have hoped that his loss is something we could truly have behind us, but here we are.
Oh. Also, when was everyone planning to tell me that my dad, besides just being a hero of the Empire, was also, basically a hero in a secret society?
So you know about the denizens.
That's like the best part.
Well, I suppose you can blame that on me. I'm the one who first got him connected with them, after all.
So that means you're all... Of course you are, and Kira just stands up and just has to pace.
Kira is Jordan confirmed.
And as you begin pacing, Kira, all of a sudden you all hear this extremely loud sound, this booming voice outside. So, all prepare for a statement from Calixtus Brightreaver, Arbiter of Eternity and Hand of the Emperor. All prepare for statement of Calixtus Brightreaver, Arbiter of Eternity and Hand of the Emperor. And Sordal is saying, well, we should either go outside to see what this is, or at least look out a window. They'll be broadcasting it across the entire city.
Feck is happening. Beg your pardon. No, I meant that. The feck is happening.
Well, Calixtus Brightreaver is the head of the Crown Guard, one of the 9 devoted protectors of Emperor Alastair Thanamir, and if he is going to make a statement, then it is unquestionable that it is either something very good or something very bad. And he's going to go back over to the door, magically unlock it, and he steps outside, and Holly is going, I'm not missing this. And she goes outside just behind him.
Garnet's gonna stealth outside and find a place to watch other people outside and their reactions, because she doesn't know what's going on and that makes her nervous.
Cool. Make a stealth check.
16. I'd like to add my D8
Cool.
to make
Sounds
sure I'm very healthy. Oh, good. That's better. That's 24.
Okay, yeah, you feel quite hidden. What about the rest of you? What are y'all doing?
Can Reba like crack open a window or something? She doesn't feel super comfortable just straight up going outside.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
now, but
You're able to just, kind of slide open one of the side windows there and kind of peek your head out a bit to see where everybody's looking at what everybody's looking at.
yeah.
Pohaku will straight up go outside.
Cool.
I will stick with Pohaku and Sordal and Halia.
Yeah, mostly sticking next to Auntie.
Siobhan and Mannix.
I'm with Reba.
Somebody's keeping an eye on Kira.
So Reba and Siobhan peering out this window and the rest of you stepping outside. As you look out, this, for all but two of you, this is your first glance of Nova Aurora, the shining star of the Empire, capital city of the Thanamirian Empire, which also floats thousands of feet above the ground as it is a flying city. And looking in all directions, you see just the pinnacle of architecture, beautiful buildings in all directions, some of which are these massive skyscraper-like buildings in this district. And you can see on many of them are these massive screens, either on some of the buildings or some right above them. And it also, you'll see the same type of screen massively be projected in the sky. And you see the face of a young man at first, this platinum crown around his head. Kira and Mannix and Reba as well, you all would instantly recognize the face of Emperor Alistair Thanamir. And Kira and Mannix, you are familiar with this, the arcane system that is set up so that he can speak to not just the entire city, but these are broadcast to the entire nation. Every settlement within the within the empire receiving these. Today is a dark day in the empire, as there has been an attempt on my life, and I do not speak of it as a dark day for the Thanamirian Empire on my own behest. Rather, I speak this as this individual is apparently a part of a greater collective that wishes to usurp and undermine and possibly destroy the Empire altogether. They call themselves the Upright. And if there are any other members of the Upright hearing and seeing this, to which I truly hope there are, let it be known that you will not threaten, nor harm, nor inconvenience a single one of my citizens for anything that you do to them. I will see it that you experience the same tenfold. For while I rule these people, I am also responsible for them. And he steps back, and you see as the scene changes, and you can see this individual, they're on their knees, arms bound behind their back, a sack over their head, and standing next to them, you can see a humanoid individual, the most beautiful person any of you have seen. Shimmering
Real?
blonde, shimmering blonde hair, almost as if it's made of gold. This glimmering platinum armor, massive greatsword across their back, eyes that are so blue it's almost looking at a clear sky itself. And he steps forward. As the arbiter of eternity, I hereby sentence you to your demise. You've attempted to end the life of our great emperor. And in this moment, I wish to Baldur, or whatever god you have mistakenly put your faith in, that there is mercy upon your eternal existence. And the Bright Reaver reach down, pull the sack off of the head, and you can see it's another dusk elf, similar to Alaphorus, but not identical. Asks, do you have any last words before
words
you are set free of our existence? And you watch as this individual looks up, smiles. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. And Bright Reaver draws this huge platinum greatsword, its wings for a hilt, places it by the back of the neck. He raises it up over his head, and as he's about to strike, you hear this voice. Calixtus Bright Reaver, this is not your decision to make. And stepping forward, you will see this cloud of fog roll into this field of vision. And stepping out of it, you see these individuals in these dark crimson robes, all wearing those same faceless masks that you have seen before. And you hear the Bright Reaver. And who exactly are you? I like to keep record of all the souls I've set free. And the central individual steps forward. You can see their robes are more ornate than the others, and there's this almost this golden, almost filigree look to this etching around the outside of their mask. I am Deacon Hollowkeeper, and this decision is mine. And you see the Hollowkeeper's gaze turn over to this dusk elf on their knees. And now, my child, be free. You watch as they raise their hand upwards, and then this massive pillar of flame engulfs the dusk elf, incinerating them on the spot. You can see as the Bright Reaver jumps back slightly, his great sword at the ready, and Hollowkeeper looks over. This will not be the final time we encounter each other, Bright Reaver. I suggest you learn which side you wish to be on. The upright shall prevail. You watch as these members step backwards into this cloud of fog, the Bright Reaver extending his hand outward. You see this radiant blast coming out, going into the fog, and there's this massive explosion of holy light which dissipates the fog, and there is nothing there. And you can hear the voice of the Emperor, end the broadcast, and goes dark.
How are the people? Because I would say I can't speak for Reba, but as soon as the person said the name Hollowkeeper, I think I stood up and fucking opened the window because I need to see.
Oh,
as
soon as
I need to see this person. So as soon as this ends, I'm looking around to see how, not my group, but just normal whatever other citizens, how are people reacting?
There is a massive amount of commotion in the streets. People aren't full on panicking, but you're hearing you're picking up pieces of here. Like the Hollowkeeper that's made up. That's what you say to scare children. It's did the Bright Reaver look concerned? Why didn't he just strike them down right away? I don't know. What's the upright? Have you ever? I've never heard of this before. What's happening? Do you think the Emperor is going to be okay? Is the Hollowkeeper coming after the Emperor? And you just there's all this commotion just happening in the streets, and Swordall is going to look to you all. We may want to get to those of you outside. We may want to get back inside before the natives get too restless.
Yeah, either
just a
that or
question
split to the
about
palace.
sorry, question about the visuals there.
Yeah.
So there was the emperor, and then there was the individual with the sack over their head.
Yeah.
And the bright. Did I get or Bright Weaver? Did I get them? Did I get the impression that all three of those people, the emperor, the prisoner, and the Bright Weaver, were in the same place?
Yes. Yeah. You get the sense that all of this happened in the same location.
So the fact that the Bright Reaver did not intervene with the Emperor in the room is especially surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, with the Bright River being out of view, you couldn't see what was going on. So there's a level of, was he staying in a way to be interposed between the Emperor and whatever this was?
Okay.
Was he not acting? It's like there's a level where you're going, I just don't know, because
That's fair.
someone was clearly using some sort of device to record this. And so when the Hollow Keeper came in, the camera, for lack of a better term, shifted over in that direction. So the Emperor and the Bright Reaver were largely out of view at that point.
That's fair.
As soon as like the presence announced itself as the Hollow Keeper, like Reba reached out to take Siobhan's hand, like just to offer, because she knew that pretty big deal.
I was like, yeah, Siobhan's halfway going out the window, right? Screen. It's a screen, can't do anything. Or I don't know what the fuck a screen is, right? It's a drying surface. That's a... fuck did I get a scrying while horizontal? I mean...
Are you
vertical.
okay?
No! No! No!
Well,
No! No, get inside. We were told to get... Right, get back from, like, being halfway out the window and shut the window. And I'm just like, well, alright. Well, the good news is we don't have to convince anyone that the Hollow Keeper's around, apparently. Decided to make a big public showing of themselves. If I could... Ugh. What time is it? It's like 7 in the morning here or some shit. What time is it in the...
It's closer to about like 9, almost 10-ish.
For the
Yeah,
next minute, Pohaku will be casting... Oh, sorry, what was that, Casey?
nothing, just a joke.
For the next minute, Pohaku will cast Gift of Alacrity on Garnet and give her the D8 on initiative rolls.
And are you all heading back into the tavern?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Swordle was kind of shepherding us to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's head back to the Winchester till this all blows over.
Well, I don't know what all of that was about, but I can definitely say I'm not a fan of it.
So that was unusual, right? I assume that was unusual.
Very.
Holly looks at you. Oh no! Every third week we have something like that goes on. Burn somebody alive. Always. Yes, very unusual actually. Completely. That wasn't as amusing as it was.
Goodness, because I was about to ask why you would do that regularly.
Yeah, my grandfather was burned alive, so...
I'm so sorry.
And so I'm directing this to Tahalia and to Kira. Well, clearly the uninvited guests were not part of that. Are these public executions normal?
If someone makes a direct threat on the Emperor or against the Empire itself, if they're to be executed by the Bright Reaver, they are public for a message to be delivered to any accomplices or associates they have, but it's been years
Yeah.
since the last one.
Yeah, the last one was...
Okay.
The last one was before I went to the academy.
Well,
Without question.
This is good news, actually, though, for us. Because if now the Empire is aware of the upright, they're going to want to hunt it down. They have much more resources to direct to this than we do. This is good.
But it also means that everyone that doesn't like the new time of peace that we are in knows that they're not alone in disliking that. And that can be dangerous.
Not to mention that the upright seems to be much bigger and better organized if they have already enough power. Does it look to get into whatever room that was and get out without the beautiful one is a paladin of sorts, I assume.
Yes. The crown for generations has used a rather ingenious, if I must say, method on selecting the crown guard. Always 9, never more, never less. And for one to ultimately attain the rank of being a guardian of the crown, they do become a paladin, but they must swear their oath and allegiance to the Emperor. So, should a member of the Crown Guard ever think and decide they want to do something against the Crown, paladins have certain abilities that can be very visual to those who know how to look up for them. And should a member of the Crown Guard suddenly not be showing these abilities, they would give themselves up whether they wanted to or not. So I must say it's a quite ingenious, has been an effective method for generations.
But again, to your point, I think this is a good thing for us. To your point, Shaban, if they are in fact so powerful that they can get next to the Emperor, the Empire is equipped for that type of a threat.
Are they?
Because
Well, surely
they
you're
were
not suggesting we are.
Oh, obviously not. I'm just saying the Emperor, turning to the various Empire people, begging your pardon, was openly shiting himself at the end there. So
No.
it didn't seem like something he was used to or felt prepared for.
Well, you never can really be prepared for a surprise attack unless you're always looking for a surprise attack, and I'm assuming the Emperor had no idea that the Upright was a thing, or that they would be this bold until this attack.
And this attack was a message without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason that the Hollow Keeper had to do that,
No.
besides send a message that they are confident enough, whether that confidence is based in something that is foolish or strength that is valid.
Swordall will chime in. And 2 other things to be aware of. One, Alistair Thanomir, well, there are many who appreciate the kindness he operates from, especially those in other nations, as he has tried to begin mending fences destroyed or worse in the past. There are many citizens of the Empire that long for the days of ruthlessness that his father adhered to. And the other notion is,
Hell, that was a recruitment tactic.
we already know that there are those within the census that have allied themselves with this upright. So while normally I would agree with Pohaku that the Thanomirian Empire is mighty enough to crush any sort of threat to it. I worry that this threat has been building for some time. I don't think this is a new organization. I think they're only just showing themselves because whoever's in charge is smart enough to know that you don't simply go against the might of the Empire unless you're entirely prepared. And Kira, I think you spoke 100% fact of that being recruitment. Not only did we witness a show of might from the Hollow Keeper, we saw one of their own as a martyr, dying in defiance of the crown and of the Arbiter of Eternity.
Good. More zealotry.
That always goes so well.
This was a nation that was beginning to work towards a path of healing, of reaching out to those wronged. It was trying to repair sins of the past. Emissaries sent to the border city of Armistice with the kingdom of Aethiel. And if this upright has their way, all headway that has been made will be completely undone, and perchance far worse.
And hell, because like we definitely, the Hollow Keeper needs to be brought to justice, but like if they're able to just get in and out like that, then we're gonna have to, I'm gonna need to find every textbook on ways to combat people that can Dimension Door, because obviously we're just going to keep finding that.
Did it seem like that's how the Hollow Keeper bamfed out Dimension Door?
Probably something bigger than that.
Yeah, you
I would know.
yeah, it honestly, like, it was very Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Like, this fog rolled in, and these individuals just stepped out of it. Like, there wasn't any sort of big, like, arcane light or anything as they came in. It was very, very dramatic, yet also very subtle in a way of just how they were all of a sudden there. Difficult to explain.
Just got a whole cult of people that seem to be able to do basically the same stuff as Alaphorus, and I am tired of people toying with me and just running away. I know that wasn't directly toying with me, but like it still is, because
right.
protecting him is my job.
Well, it does seem to me this could be, I won't go so far as say a blessing in disguise, but an opportunity hidden.
Opportunity?
And yes, and this may be a chance, Kira, you, myself, and, well, either Mannix or Pohaku, you have a book.
It's a good book.
Good. There's a potential new recruit to the census itself. Chance we could use this as our opening to gain access to looking into the archives. We're going to need to go to places we're not allowed, but would at least get us into the Hall of Records. This display by the Upright could allow us to suggest that we need to review the archives for any mentionings of the Uprights or the Hollow Keeper or any mask of this type, so that we can try and find out not just where they may strike from, but who might be associated. It's not a foolproof option, but we could absolutely use this as an opening.
Yeah, I just whenever in the last bit, there's even been a thought of trying to get somewhere that maybe I'm not supposed to be. Garnet, Reba, you know better than me.
Well, what do you mean?
I just want
I
to make
think
sure.
Sordal just gave us a good excuse. We can just convince them that we need to do it, and we have authority, and you're the one with the authority.
Yeah, I'm not used to having authority. I think we should take advantage of that.
Right,
You
I
do-
do have that.
Well, yeah,
Speaking from
you-
someone who is usually in possession of quite a bit of authority, I'm going to peel the curtain back, so to say. You're going to want to use it when you have it, because when you don't, it's gone.
Well, to your point, Manix, and all of you, if we have the authority, then why are we trying to? Why do I have a book? Yes, I understand that. It's a good book, but can't Kira, Sordal, can't you just tell us? Can't you just get that information yourself? You have the authority, correct?
I have the authority to gain access to the Hall of Records. However, I'm not looking for any records of the Hollow Keeper or the Upright or these masks. That's very secondary to me to find out. What I want to find out is what happened to Kira's father. The rest is secondary, but losing a pupil and a close friend, and having that still be a mystery staring in my face, and now all of this, and members of his old squad having some sort of proximity to it, has left me very uneasy. So, while, yes, I recognize you as you stand would not have any sort of authority, a extra set of hands, eyes, ears to find information, plus supposedly the witch who struck Tyree down fled to the Whispering Wood. And you, as someone who knows the wood, there may be some documents I would want you to thumb through. We do have occasional sentries that go into the wood, staying on the train platform, of course, that observe and report. Just curious if there's any information there of note.
Well, what I started to say was Kira might find himself in a unique position, because we did run into these Upright folks back in the assemblage, and your Castian, who said he was bringing back this information to the Emperor, may in fact not have been. So it's possible that you and we know a bit more than the Emperor does right now. Not much, but just perhaps if it's something that you could, what's the word? Barter for leverage. Because Sordal wants to get into research about your father. I want information on who the Hallow Keeper is. Begging your pardon, Sordal. Not assuming you to do that for me. Not that I know how to research, but I know what their mask looks like now, so I guess that's better than yesterday. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself because it's they just attacked the feckin' Emperor.
But you'd be happy about that.
I'm
What was that?
honestly.
I thought you'd be happy about that of all people, Siobhan.
I don't know what to think. I've never been here. I don't have a beef with any person, with the exception of the Hallow Keeper, apparently. But I don't have a beef with the Emperor. He wasn't the Emperor when you saw him. He's a young man.
Okay.
I don't know what to think. I didn't feel safe here, coming here at all, and now I feel somehow even less safe.
I'm kind of surprised that we aren't getting an immediate call from the census to, scramble and get home as quickly as possible, or new orders being sent out with sending spells. After that, maybe it's just time, it's the delay of bureaucracy, but...
It could be. I'm with you that the delay concerns me as well. Usually, they're far more on top of things. However, it has been since Emperor Vilmos that such a thing needed to occur. I imagine Emperor Alistair is trying to understand things and smooth things over within the palace before any sort of additional statement is made.
I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it.
You will all hear this knock at the door, and her voice. Halia, are you in there? Is everything okay? And all of you will recognize Kira recognizing from the first syllable the voice of Castian.
Fuck.
And hiding.
Yeah, and Sordal just going, and Halia just looks to you all, and she just circles and she points upward, and Sordal nods, and she looks to you all, and she's going to cast Pass Without a Trace on all of you. So you can all add +10 to your stealth rolls, and she just goes... And Sordal is going to head upwards. And I need everyone to make stealth checks, unless you're not trying to be stealthy on this.
Oh no.
38.
+10.
Jesus. 38?
That's
Say
mob
30,
territory
Tanya?
stuff right there.
I said 38.
Oh my gods. Okay. Oh,
Let's see.
29.
29. Nice.
18.
18. That's good.
It's a 25.
Nice. What'd Siobhan get?
14.
14. Okay. And Reva?
Dirty 20.
Wow. Great scores all the way around. Sordal will get you all upstairs, and he opens up the hidden latch into that attic and just gestures you all inside, and closes it behind, and does, a few arcane gestures, and he just whispers to you all, I do want us to be able to listen in as much as possible. And he does, and you can hear everything happening down below as you hear Halia unlatch the door. Opens. Castian, thank you for coming by. Everything here is fine. I'm okay. I
I saw the broadcast. I know. I had to check on you though. Just wanted to make sure everything was fine. Kier, he'd never forgive me if I didn't check on you for this. Have you spoken to Kira lately? I mean, he writes when he can, of course. You know him. You know how he checks in at home and he likes to worry, finds himself wanting to be like Tyree as much as possible in all the right ways. This is true. Do me a favor. Next time he comes home, would you let me know? He's done some good work for us, and frankly, I'd like to see about personally giving him his next assignments. I think he's shown a great amount of potential, and under the tutelage he's received, I think he has unquestionably shown a chance to excel up the ranks as fast as any we have ever seen. I will do what I can, but as you know, I don't get out much. I keep the staff here as minimal as possible because, let's face it, I like the regulars to know me, and I like my work. That's fair. Well, I should get back to work. There's a lot to figure out from what the fuck we just saw, and I'm sure many people within the organization are going to have questions for me that I have no idea how I'm going to answer right now. So, be well, and like I said, please, if you see Kira, do let me know and send him my way. I have much praise that he deserves. I will, and not to be rude, but I'm a bit shaken from what I've seen. I need to have a drink, and I need to finish prepping. He goes, a drink? That sounds wonderful. Could I impose? How can I say no to an old friend? Gee, you can hear sort of clinking of glasses.
Sorry, question?
Yeah.
Does Castian appear to be alone?
You can't see him. You can only hear him. From what you've heard, it sounds like you haven't heard any other voices. He's definitely the only one who's come into the establishment, but you don't know if there's anybody waiting outside. There are a couple small windows up here, one towards the front of the building, if you'd like to go and attempt to take a peek.
Are these like glass windows, or could I potentially send Pueo out?
They are glass windows, completely. There is a latch on them where you could open them if you wanted. It's at a bit of an angle, so you'd kind of have to crane your neck to see down a little bit.
I'm gonna open it and send Pueo out.
Okay. This attic kind of goes along the top of it. There's a window at the front end of the building and one at the back end of the building.
I would do it from whichever one seemed furthest from where he entered.
Okay, so the back end of the building, and the windows are quite small. Like Pueo could fit out. This is not something like not even Garnet could crawl out of one of these. They're very, very small windows, and so opening it up, you send Pueo out flying. I assume you're looking out through his eyes.
Looking through his eyes, and my only intent is to see if there is anybody that seems to be accompanying him.
Okay. You don't even need to make a perception check for that, because that's just a simple fly around and look. And you can see out in front of the bar, looks to be about half dozen armed individuals. They don't look like they're standing in an aggressive posture at all. They're there. They're the ones who accompanied him
here, but yeah, you can see about a half dozen of them.
Okay. I will actually not even have Pueo return. I will actually just bamf him into his little pocket dimension. I promise this is a relevant question. The walls inside the attic, stone, wood?
Wood.
Cheap. Okay. In that case, I will just whisper then to Kira. There are 6 outside. If he threatens Auntie, I will kill him for you.
You'll have to beat me there. But bringing 6 more just to check on her doesn't make sense. Especially after an attack on the Emperor, why would they... He's only here to look for me. Great.
Kitty. Ernie!
She wants to be on the computer keyboard so badly. She wants it every second the computer is open.
It's warm.
She's a cat.
Yeah,
Cat's going cat.
can't really blame her.
You will hear the voice of Castian.
Nope.
To better days for the Empire, and to the prodigal son one day returning and
Suspicious.
taking his rightful place within our ranks. She goes, whatever the fuck you want to drink to, I'm having a drink. And you don't hear glasses clink or anything. She throws it back, sets it down. Now I really have to kick you out of my bar so I can prep for the day. And I don't know if you know this, but there are, I don't know, 1 million or so citizens to attend to that maybe could use some leadership. It's like, right, I know, just... You're right. I appreciate you being willing to tell me if you hear anything. I definitely have to get back to work. Good day. And you hear him heading out. And as he gets in the door, he's like, all right, all of you, move out. We have work to do. Let's calm the streets. Hear that? I didn't say clear them. Calm them, for fuck's sake. Keep your weapons holstered, you idiot lot. And she'll close the door, and Sordal will exhale. It was too close for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he leaves, this is a long shot, but I'll ask. Can I see, looking out the window, do I see any snakes within 30 feet?
I'm going to say no, because you're pretty high up.
Long shot.
I'm going to send Umbani to tail him.
All right, you send...
I'm giving Umbani instructions. Stay hidden. And give me a feeling of... Give me a feeling of surprise if I need you to disappear. Give me a feeling of confusion if I should look through your eyes.
Cool. Go ahead and give me either... You can give me either a stealth or a nature check using Umbani stats to either try and stay hidden or fly naturally.
Sorry, real quick. If I see you doing this, I will kind of just gently put my hand out. Should I send Pueo instead? He knows you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. You're right. Please do.
So I'll do the same with Pueo. And I'm sorry, what was the check you wanted me to make?
You can either do stealth or nature, because nature would be the equivalent of like fly normally, look like a normal ass bird. Stealth is trying to stay hidden and not seen.
I don't know. Fly
casual.
Just
Okay,
start to
so
hear me
I'm
in the
using... So if I use his stats for stealth, it becomes a 18. If I use my nature, it becomes a 20.
Cool. We'll use nature for that. I'm
Okay.
fine with that. So, all right, Pueo will go and entail. After a few moments, there'll be a little rap on the doorway there, and any of you who speak Thieves' Cant recognize it as a signal for it's safe to come out. And Swordall will open the hatchway, let you all come out, and he'll close it up behind you all.
Wait, does this mean Swordall knows Thieves' Cant too?
Yes, it does. Well, that was stressful.
Right, I don't think we can stay here.
Well, I think you guys might be all right here, but if you wanted to look for a different place, I'd be fine with that too. I don't think he knows I lied to him. If you are looking for places to stay, though, it's not hard to find anywhere, and the good news is, if someone's looking for you in this city, unless they know where to look, it's really hard to find you.
I know it's a long way to go, but should you ever need safe harbor, I promise the Branch Mothers will take care of you.
I don't know who they are, honey, but that sounds wonderful, and I thank you. Well, I still have every intent to go snooping around in the archives. I now don't know if it's a good idea for Kira to accompany me, though. As if word gets out that he's here, it does seem that Castian wants to speak to him about something. And until I know what his machinations are, I don't know that I want to let that happen.
Well, it was only a matter of time before Castian realized that he didn't have the original diary. And there were only 2 people who could have taken it. Well, 2 groups, us and Elafris.
Well, my concern is that he's made no outward attempt to retrieve it.
But he's also not just... I mean... I turn to Kira and say, he hasn't... I had the opinion before you saw him in near the mines that you hadn't seen him or spoken to him for quite a while.
Until the mines, yes. I hadn't... Not much more than, like, the occasional letter or exchanging, like, a salute during an official, like, training session.
Not right. So there's no, like, twice weekly, message where, oh, what's happening? How you now?
No, not unless something important was happening, and honestly, nothing important was really happening. I was just training and taking my classes, doing my studies, and... Because remember, my first official mission was heading out to the Harvest Festival. Before that, I was just in training.
Well, I wouldn't mind having some accompaniment into the archives. I'm sure I could come up with a story why someone's with me. Some of you would be easier than others, but where once before I wanted it to be Kira, now I'm less so inclined for that. Lord Soul, you may be a quality accomplice for that, as Well, you get to see places just because you want to see them sometimes, don't you? And that might be to our advantage.
I don't believe I'm going to be departing from Garnet and Kira's side for the moment. Manix, are you comfortable with that?
It'd be a stretch to call it comfortable. But I'm definitely can be convinced to make my peace with it. I would not say I was comfortable in any capacity.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you could get the opportunity to just tell off a stranger for a while and see if you can give a good enough string of insults to keep them occupied for a bit.
You are very good at that.
I don't like to... What is a common saying for this? I'm not trying to sprain my shoulder by patting myself on the back, but I am very good at making people feel very bad.
Sometimes it's quite the useful skill. I think there's...
It's honestly just a byproduct of me liking to feel better about myself, but that's not the time, and here's not the time and the place to get into all of that. It's a lot to unpack.
Well, however it comes about, I do think I need to find out where and when Castian's going to be so I can make sure his whereabouts and our whereabouts are not congruent as much as possible. That was too close of a call, but at least it made sense. And it's at this point you will hear a broadcast coming from outside. To the citizens of the Thanamirian Empire, as your emperor, I wish to let you all know that whoever this Hollow Keeper is, or whoever the Upright are, do know that you have nothing to fear from them. It is not the first time that individuals have tried to put fear into a nation. We are a strong nation. We are a proud nation. But our greatest strength comes in our ability to care for each other. Your friends and neighbors are there for you, to help guide you. And to those of you who are feeling lost in this time, unsure, or if you feel yourself tempted by the sway of a new power that reminds you of days gone by that you once missed, I promise you, as the sun shines first and last on Nova Aurora, light shall always touch the Thanamirian Empire. It is both my duty and my privilege to be a conduit for that light. We shall provide. The Thanamirian Empire provides. And remember, through your faith and through your tithe, you have been taken care of. Your predecessors have been taken care of. Your offspring will be taken care of. We shall provide. Remember who has always been there for you and shall. We will not cower before this upright. Rather, we will show them that the shadows that they went back into will be the only place they will find comfort and solace, for the hearts of the Thanamirian Empire are strong and true. I am here for you, as you are here for each other. This day will be the pinnacle of their strength, as they will only dissolve through here. For it is my faith that you all will support each other and render their existence meaningless in this nation. I thank you for your time. May his light shine forever. And the broadcast will end.
I don't like the idea of sitting around and doing nothing, but it seems like the best thing for me is to sit around and do nothing.
Halia will look over to you and smirk. I mean, you could do that, or maybe it's time I introduced you to some of your father's old friends.
Sure, yeah, great, yep. Yeah.
Can I come too?
Oh, I would expect you to definitely attend, Garnet, as I think you would enjoy meeting them as well. You know, I was going to wait for your birthday to give this to you, but you've had your first drink, so I guess it's close enough. Tyree wanted you to have it. Had it commissioned for you long ago. She reaches down under the bar and pulls out this metal case about 3.5 feet long. You can see it's sealed on all sides. Like it looks sort of like a case, because you can tell by the beveled edges. And she's going, now, how exactly do you open this? Sort of, do you remember? Oh, what was the enchantment to get in here? No, he told me it was. No, it's not it. Oh, Kira.
Mm-hmm.
Place your hand on the box.
And before I do, I mean, if it's an enchantment, I do know how to just dispel enchantments. Like, I can just do that. Because, I've been studying and learning. I'm kind of good at stuff now.
I mean, if you wish, but I can guarantee it'll be unnecessary.
I just put my hand on it.
And as you do, you watch as this light ripples outward, and on the side away from you, there are a couple hinges that appear. You wouldn't see that because on the back of it, but then you see 4 latches appear on the front.
I look and just kind of, and start to unlatch them.
Okay. And as you latch them, do you open it?
Yeah.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Of course.
I'm kidding.
Who has his head like right over your shoulder, like annoyingly close.
So as you lift it, you can see inside is a shimmering blade. It's a short sword. The blade on it is almost shaped more like a falchion, where it's got that very large true edge, and then the ornate backside of it. And you can see there are a few jewels encrusted along this platinum hilt that then goes down into the handle itself, twists, and it curls almost like a narwhal horn in shape before hitting this pommel, which is in the shape of a bird's talon gripped around a opaque jewel.
Cool.
All right. Before I grab a sword I've never seen before, Reba, are you ready? I know this is a gift from my dad, but everything has been...
I didn't prepare that spell today. I did not prepare that spell today. I shouldn't have had to prepare that spell today.
Nope. I've been cursed before. And I grabbed the sword.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is a... You know when you see your die almost go to a 20 and then roll back, and it's just, like, insulting?
Yeah.
But that is still a 21.
Still 21. Okay, so you do not immediately suffer a level of exhaustion
Jesus.
as it begins the attunement process, as this is quite the blade. You can feel, like, as you touch it, just this thrum of arcane energy that goes through you, and you can tell this has got some sort of power to it. And it's you'll have to spend a little time with it so you can fully understand what it does, but this is quite the blade. You will find it has its workings with your arcane abilities, and should you need to use it in combat, it will be far more effective than what you currently wield. And I think you'll like the extra enchantment Tyree had put on it. It'll give you a little something extra to remember him by. And you'll get that to add to your character sheet later. But
Okay.
and then as the curse thing, sort of, I was like, right, the cursed blade should really do something about that.
I
See-
mean, it's still just in the, extra dimensional space, so...
And we should find a way to destroy it.
Yes, I was initially going to take it to the census to have it either annihilated or filed away. However, I don't know that I want to do that now. There are other opportunities to take care of it.
Mhm.
Keep it where you have it for now, and if it can be, well, none of you are getting access to the Eternal Forge, either I'd say take it there and just chuck it in, but
I mean, my dad's been.
most impressive. Perhaps that could be done.
You don't really get more than one invitation, though. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's still a very impressive thing to hear about. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm terrified of getting cursed by it, I would want to spend some time with it to research it, to try and find out how it could be destroyed. But I don't want to get cursed by an evil sword. Thank you very much. I know what I can do. We know who it was made imprisoning. I bet with a little bit of research, I can find out what would need to be done to destroy it. That'll be on my to-do list. Find that out for you, and we'll get rid of it in due time. So, Garnet, Pohaku, Kira, it sounds like Alia has some associates to introduce you to that I think you will find quite delightful. Mannix, you and I have a date with the Hall of Records, and I do look forward to seeing how that goes. Reba, Siobhan, I don't know if you would wish to accompany us. After all, wherever Lord Soul goes, he's likely to take attendance with him. And if I'm being honest, if we need to get out of there quickly, and if there is any sort of violence, I wouldn't be opposed to having either of you to back me up. I surely don't think it is liable to happen, but
No, if that's an option, I would love to join the Hall of Records mission. I very much want to be there. Would we have an opportunity to look up our own set of records, or is that unlikely?
I mean, if there are records kept on you for some reason in the
I mean, not
Athenian
for like
capital.
on our person, but I don't know, just just look some up, just out of curiosity.
I mean, if we have time, there's no reason not to. And in fact, if I'm being honest, the more things we're looking up, it might make our presence there look more plausible. Especially if we do have some good boring things to look up, they may leave us alone. The trick is going to be getting into the restricted section, but I know a spell or two that may assist with that.
Use invisibility cloak. Sorry, different franchise.
I will promise you all this. If things get dicey and it looks like there's some sort of concern, I will happily take full responsibility. After all, with the work I've done and how long I've been part of the organization, I can't imagine getting much more than a slap on the wrist, or, if it's well in a restricted section, a possible demerit at works. I'm quite known for being hungry for knowledge and information. So, if Siobhan Reba, if you'd be willing to pose as attendants of Mannix, I don't think you would need to say much to do so, as with how vociferous he is, I think he would give you quite the cover.
Yeah, sign me up. Tell me what to wear.
I mean, this is all we have, but
Well, I'm sure I don't know if there's some family crest of the soul line that we should be able to present or something, but
I am not wearing livery. I will tell you right now.
You'll be fine. Attendants very rarely wear any royal insignia on
Alright.
them
fantastic.
when they're out and about. That's something you would wear on the grounds if you were at his manor.
All right. No, just stand behind him and look tough.
Don't think you'll have too much trouble with that, my dear.
Siobhan, just FYI, has been having a low-key panic attack basically since they got to the Empire, and the announcement thing did not make her feel better, and I've been periodically texting, but has basically been keeping up a running monologue in Reba's head of like, what the actual fuck is happening in here on this day.
Siobhan, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good. I actually have advantage on those. 17.
17. All right. You are definitely rattled like you said. No panic attack happening, though. You're able to just focus your breathing, and you hear that now slowly becoming familiar to you voice in the back of your head going, "It's going to be okay. I'm here with you."
Great, Will. Thanks, Tana. I'm just Do you have anything to settle a tummy? Because I'm right stressed.
I mean, it's not really my wheelhouse. You are hanging out with someone who deals in beverages. She might have something nice.
Oh, right. Yes, I asked for peppermint tea. I said, do we have time? Do we have time for some, or do you just have a piece of peppermint candy, perhaps?
As you say that, Holly is like, "Oh shit, the tea I was going to. Oh goodness!" She goes in there and she got the kettle. She's like, "Well, good news is, it's not dry. Yeah, I've got a sort of a mint tea. We can make it. Yeah, I'll make it work. No problem."
Or just a piece of crystallized ginger or something. I've just got a bit of a. I think it's my stomach's a bit wibbledy. I think it's from the travel. I'm not used to it.
I can handle that. She takes some gin, like a piece of crystallized ginger, like candy, and throws it into the black tea she was gonna make for you. Adds the water, stir, and she's like, "Wait about 5 minutes on that, hon. Go ahead, and drink that up.
make you feel right as rain.
All right. Turn to Sorgal. I'll be ready to go in a few moments. Just need to situate.
No, it's good. We should wait a moment. Let the streets have a moment or two to continue to calm, clear, and if we wait, it gets Castian that much further away from us. Let him put some distance between us. And Talia will take some of you to meet some very unique associates of Tyree, and the rest of us have a date with the Hall of Records, and hopefully we can learn a bit more about, honestly, any of this at all. Because right now, everything I thought I knew, I know even less.
Yeah, it feels weird, doesn't it? Sorry, I don't mean to be like that.
But, well, let's wait here about an hour. And Kira, it'll help you get some understanding on that blade. I wouldn't mind allowing my stomach to settle as well. And Holly goes, and if we're being honest, I could use a bite to eat. Anyone else if I'm making something light? Yes, okay. I'll throw together a few things. We'll have something and
I mean, it's been a while since I've helped you in the kitchen. I can lend a hand.
It's been a while.
I can't tell you how much I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Why don't you get your ass in there and make sure you wash your hands before you get to work.
Of course.
And, well, yeah, I could probably find somebody to open the bar for me if we're not going to be back in time. Look awful strange if all of a sudden I'm not open for some reason. Yeah, let's take that hour. Let's have a bite, and then let's head out and do everything what we can. Stay safe, and guess there's really no way for us to stay in touch, so plan. She just looks at you, Garnish, put your hand up. Yes?
How far away from each other are we going to be? Because if we're within, I don't know, a mile or maybe a little bit more, I can talk to some folks. How about I'll do Psychic Whispers with Reba and Siobhan and Tohaku.
Yeah, we won't be
For
a mile
4
apart. We won't be a mile apart. Place we're going, it's a bit of distance from the Hall of Records, but not that far. You're impressive, aren't you?
Yep.
You've got good friends, Kira.
I have friends.
Oh.
I'm glad you do. Well, let's have a bite to eat. Let's relax some of those tender tummies. And then let's see what we can find out. Because if I'm being honest, I don't want to leave this up to the powers that be. Because I got a feeling some of them are the ones that got us here.
Yup.
And with that, Swordall will look to you all going, brace yourselves, stay as calm as you can, and stay true to the purpose. If we need to get out of here, I and Halia both know a few places we can lay low. Unfortunately, I won't be able to teleport us anywhere until at least tomorrow. So, we can't cause too much dissent, but as long as we find a place to lay low, I can get us out of here tomorrow, and Halia will speak up. Well, just remember, Swordall, if you need to, there is the emergency scroll. Right. Excellent. Thank you. Hopefully we don't need to use it, but things being what they are, it's good to know. So, friends of Kira, or whatever I should call you.
The sisters.
Why the fuck not? Okay. Sisters. Let's raise some hell. And we'll pick up there with you guys heading off to what you're gonna do, splitting the party. What could go wrong?
I know. What the
Dang
fuck?
it, Bjorn.
We will split the party. Half of you going to meet some contacts that Halia knows, formerly of Tyree, and the other half of you going with Swordall to look into the Hall of Records to see what information could possibly be uncovered. And Jordan, in a day or two, maybe later tonight, depending on if I have time to finish of it, you'll find out what exactly that sword does.
Ooh, boy.
But that's for next session. I'm excited.
Oh, I cast Identify on it. Here's what it does, Jordan.
Counter spell.
Counter.
Counter. For next time, for our Psych Whispers, for Garnet Reaver. Yes, thank you for that message, Tanya. I'm gonna write that shit down too.
I'll take
Oh,
I'll take the hour of downtime for Arcane Recovery.
Yeah, absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, figure out what, if anything, you guys do with your hour of downtime. We'll have more adventures for you all soon. Thank you for sticking with us, and come back to see what chaos awaits. I know I will.